Hello, welcome back everybody to Glenn's Vinyl Records. Today's video is a special one because I will be showing the first 100 releases on the ECM Records label. ECM has become probably my favourite label because the music that they produced, especially in the 70s, is what's really appealing to me. They were founded in 1969 by Manfred Eicher and two other partners, and still continue to produce records to this day. They recorded a lot of American musicians in the 70s that had gone to Europe to record, like Keith Jarrett, Pat Metheny, Gary Burton, Chick Corea, Charlie Hayden, John Abercrombie, Dave Lehman, Ralph Towner, and Jack DeJohnette, among others, many others, as well as a lot of fantastic European musicians as well. The first 100 releases that I have, 94 of them are German pressings. I also have 6 of the yellow label Japanese originals as well. We'll kick it off, because I don't want to be here forever, and show ECM number 1, which is Mal Waldron, Free at Last. This was recorded in November 24, 1969, and my copy is a reissue that was done in 2019. It has the original album on sides 1 and 2. The second disc is alternative tracks, 4 of the 6 original tracks, done in slightly longer versions. This is a great album of Mal Waldron's, one of his early ones, first on the ECM label, and a great way to start. Number 2, Just Music, by leader Alfred Harth, and 6 other musicians on this record. This is very free jazzy, avant-garde music. Not an easy listen, but if you put the time in, well worth it, because it's, yeah, some fantastic music. Number 3, Paul Bley with Gary Peacock. Also featured here are Paul Motion and Billy Elgart, both on drums on different tracks. Again, Paul Bley, it's his first record on ECM. Number 4, Marion Brown, Afternoon of a Georgia Fawn. This one features Gene Lee on vocals and percussion, Anthony Braxton, Chick Corea, Andrew Cyril. It's a great record. More spiritual, free jazzy, but yeah, fantastic. Number 5 is one that I had trouble with at first. The Music Improvisation Company. Derek Bailey, Evan Parker, Hugh Davies, Jamie Muir and Christine Jeffrey. This takes a while to get into. Took several listens to kind of understand what they're getting at here, but very rewarding once you start to understand what they're about on this record. There's a picture of them there. Number 6, Wolfgang Downer, Output. It's a very weird cover which continues on the back. This is a great record though. It's rocky kind of jazz with Wolfgang Downer on piano, ring modulator and electric clavinet, Fred Braceful on percussion, and the great bassist Eberhard Weber. That's a really great one. Number 7, and this is one of the Luminescence series reissues, Garbarek's first record for ECM, Afric Pepperbird. And here he's joined by Terje Rypdal on guitar, Harold Anderson on bass, and John Christensen on drums. And there they are playing. Great photos there. Number 8, Robin Kenyatta, Girl from Martinique. Robin Kenyatta plays flute, alto sax and percussion on here, with Wolfgang Downer again on clavinet and piano, Harold Anderson on bass and Fred Braceful on drums. This gets funky and kind of a little bit out in places, but it's really enjoyable listen as well. Okay, what are we up to? Yeah, number 9, ARC, which is Chick Corea, Dave Holland and Barry Altschul. This is a great free jazz record, and comes in another cover variation as well, but I've got this one with the triangle on the front. Number 10, Paul Bley, again, ballads. His second one on ECM. Here with Gary Peacock or Mark Levinson on bass, Barry Altschul on drums, and Annette Peacock is featured on the back in the photo as well. Number 11, music from two basses, Barry Phillips and Dave Holland. Just the two of them playing bass and cello. That's a wonderful record. Number 12, Bobo Stenson on piano here, Underwear, with Harold Anderson on bass and John Christensen again on drums. This is a really good record, one of my favourites on the ECM label. "13, Dave Holland and Derek Bailey, Improvisations for cello and guitar. Another one that's very out, free jazz, and a great listen once you get into the music and understand what they're doing again. The first Chick Corea album on ECM, number 14, Piano Improvisations, Volume 1. This is Chick Corea solo piano, and as it says, improvising to great effect on this record. "15, Sart, Jan Garbarek as leader, with Bobo Stenson, piano again, Terje Rypdal, Harold Anderson and John Christensen. This is a more of a rocky kind of jazz record as well. One of my favourite Garbarek records, and well worth listening to. Number 16, Terje Rypdal's first record on ECM. He did another one before the ECM label started. I think it was called Bleak House, might have been on Japo, but this is his first record on ECM, and it's with a lot of musicians here, but it's a great album, very good. 17, Keith Jarrett, the first Keith Jarrett record on ECM, Facing You, which is also solo piano. This one's great. I would put it right up there with Concert as being one of his best. '18 and '19, because it's a double record set. Corea, the Circle Band Paris concert, which is Corea, Anthony Braxton, Dave Holland and Barry Altschul. And this is really some great free jazz. Fantastic live concert from this group. '20 is Chick Corea Piano Improvisations Volume 2, continuing on from Volume 1, which I showed earlier, and more great solo piano work there from Chick. Fantastic. '21, Keith Jarrett and Jack DeJohnette, Ruta and Daija. Just the two of them. Keith Jarrett on piano, electric piano and organ, as well as flute, and Jack DeJohnette on drums. Number 22, one of the iconic records on ECM, Chick Corea's Return to Forever. Would have to be in the top 5 ECM record of all time. Chick Corea, Flora Purim, Aieto, Joe Farrell and Stanley Clarke. Beautiful music on here, could listen to it endlessly. It's a fantastic record. Okay, moving on to number 23, Paul Bley, his solo piano record, Open to Love. And that's a very good record. '24 is another iconic one, Crystal Silence, Chick Corea and Gary Burton. Piano and vibes. Sounds brilliant. '25, Ralph Towner with Glenn Moore, Trios Solos. Ralph Towner is, of course, on guitar here as well as piano, Glenn Moore on bass, Paul McCandless on oboe, and Colin Walcott on tabla. It's a fantastic record that really sets a mood if you're in a kind of a relaxed mode. It's that fantastic kind of music. '26, Stanley Cowell Trio, The Illusion Suite. Stanley Cowell piano, Stanley Clarke on bass, and Jimmy Hops on drums. Fantastic. '27, Dave Holland, Conference of the Birds. Again with the same band, Circle Band, Sam Rivers, Anthony Braxton, Barry Altschul. Free jazz, bit slightly avant-garde, but wonderful music on this record. Highly recommended. 28, Paul Motion's first record for ECM, Conception Vessel. And here he's playing with a host of musicians, Charlie Hayden, Sam Brown, Keith Jarrett, Leroy Jenkins. It's a great record. 29 is another Jan Garbarek record, Triptychon, with Harold Anderson, Edward Vasala, just the three of them in trio setting, and that's also very good. Number 30, Gary Burton, the New Quartet. Probably the second one I'm showing now that's from the new Luminescence series of releases. Originally recorded in March 1973. This has Gary Burton on vibes, Mick Goodrick on guitar, Abraham Laboriel on bass, and Harry Blazer on drums. Another great Terje Rypdal album, What Comes After. Here he's with Barry Phillips, John Christensen, Erik Njord Larsen, and Sveinung Havinstro. And there's some real classics on here. Great record. Number 32 is another Ralph Towner record, Diary, and it's solo Ralph Towner, just with 12-string and classical guitar, piano and gongs. Beautiful record. '33 and 34, because it's a double set, Keith Jarrett, In the Light. Another fantastic Keith Jarrett record. Which takes us to this box set next, and this is numbers 35, 36 and 37 because it's a 3-record box. Keith Jarrett Solo Concerts, Bremen Lausanne. And this is, yeah, again right up there with Home Concert. Fantastic performances. '38, we're getting there. Artland with Jan Garbarek. Just the two of them here. Artland on piano and Jan Garbarek on flutes, soprano and bass saxes. It's a great record. Recorded in 1973. '39 is one of my favourites, probably in the top 20 of ECM. Dave Liebman, Lookout Farm. Here he is with Richie Byrak, Frank Tousa and Jeff Williams. John Abercrombie also features on here, along with a lot of other percussion players. It's a fantastic record. Number 40 is another Gary Burton record, 7 songs for quartet and chamber orchestra. Here he is with members of the NDR Symphony Orchestra, Hamburg, as well as Mick Goodrick on guitar, Steve Swallow on bass, and Ted Siebes on drums. '41. This is really good too. Jan Garbarek, Bobo Stenson Quartet. Wichitato with Pelly Danielson bass and John Christensen again on drums. They do a 20-minute version of Desireless, a Don Cherry composition on side 2, and that is one to really listen to. Fantastic. Number 42, Eberhard Weber, Colours of Chloe. Yeah, probably my favourite Eberhard Weber album, and there's several in here. Here he's with Rainer Bruninghaus on piano and synth, Peter Geiger on drums, Ralph Huber on drums, and Ak van Rooyen on flugelhorn. Beautiful music on this one. This one here is top 5 jazz albums probably of all time for me, and top 3 ECM. Benny Maupin, The Jewel in the Lotus. There's nothing much to say apart from, if you haven't heard this record, go out and get it or stream it. It's fantastic music. You'll love it. Okay, up to number 44, I think. Yes, Julian Priester. Love, Love. And on this record, there are 10 musicians, including Julian, on here. And the title track, which takes up basically the whole of side 1, is a very funky, ambient kind of track that just rolls along and the musicians come in and out. The highlight on this is Bill Connors on electric guitar. He plays really well on this. Fantastic record. 45, another Terje Rypdal album, Whenever I Seem to Be Far Away. And this also has the Sudfunk Symphony Orchestra playing along with the band. Great record. 46 is another great record from Dave Liebman, Drum Ode, and a number of players on here, but most of them being percussion. No less than 10 guys doing percussion works on this record, and it's his ode to drums because he basically explains at the beginning of the record how drumming has been a big part of his life, even though he plays soprano and tenor saxes and flute. This is a really great record. Number 47, and I'd probably put this in my top 5 ECM albums. Timeless, John Abercrombie, Jan Hammer and Jack DeJohnette. Just the 3 of them in a trio, but what they produce here is stunning music. Well worth listening to. Highly recommended. 48, Paul Motion, Tribute. And this is also another great record. Recorded in May 1974. Carlos Ward on sax, Sam Brown acoustic and electric guitars, Paul Metzke electric guitar, Charlie Hayden bass and Paul Motion on drums. Very, very good. Number 49, and it's called Luminescence, but it's also part of the Luminescence series, reissues, and it's Jan Garbarek playing sax, tenor and soprano saxes. Keith Jarrett composed everything on here, but he doesn't actually play on the record. It's just Jan Garbarek, and it's the string section of the Sudfunk Symphony Orchestra that plays along with him. Halfway, number 50, which is another young Garbarek album, sort of co-led between Garbarek and Keith Jarrett, Pally Danielson bass and John Christensen drums, Belonging. Really another iconic record on the ECM label, well worth having. Number 51, Ring, the Gary Burton Quintet with Eberhard Weber. And here we have Gary Burton playing with Mick Goodrick on guitar, Pat Metheny on guitar, Steve Swallow bass and Bob Moses on drums with Weber on bass. This is one of my Japanese yellow label reissues, or originals I should say, from 1974, and sounds great, fantastic music. 52, Steve Kuhn, Trance. Steve Kuhn, acoustic and electric pianos, Steve Swallow bass, Jack DeJohnette on drums, and Sue Evans playing some percussion as well. Fantastic music on this and highly recommended too. Great record. It's one that's not seen a lot. It's very hard to obtain. Michael Nora, Vanessa, number 53. And I'd probably put this in my top 10 ECM records. Michael Nora plays piano, Wolfgang Schulte is on vibes, Eberhard Weber on bass, Joe Ney on drums, and Klaus Thurnemann on bassoon. Fantastic music. Number 54, Richie Beirak, Eon, and it's a trio album led by Richie Beirak on piano, Frank Tusa on bass and Jeff Williams on drums. There they are playing. It's a great record. Number 55, Gary Burton again with Steve Swallow, Hotel Hello. Burton on vibraphone and organ and marimba with Steve Swallow on bass and piano. Some great photos of them there. Fantastic record too. They all are. Number 56, Ralph Towner with Gary Burton, Matchbook. Just the two of them. Ralph Towner 12-string and classical guitars, and Gary Burton vibraphone. '57, Bill Connors, theme to The Guardian. And this is solo guitar from Bill Connors. Fantastic music here. Great photo of young Bill Connors on the back. '58 is another Steve Kuhn album, Ecstasy. And this is Steve Kuhn, solo piano. Number 59, Harold Anderson, Clouds in My Head. Playing bass here with John Belk on piano, who really shines on this record. The piano playing is fantastic. Risnace on tenor and soprano saxes and flute, and Pal Thowson on drums. Number 60 is another Ralph Towner record, Solstice. Here he's in a quartet with Jan Garbarek and Eberhard Weber and John Christensen. Another iconic record produced by ECM. '61. Another Luminescent series reissue, John Abercrombie, Gateway. In a trio setting here with Dave Holland on bass and Jack DeJohnette on drums. Okay, now we go to number 61, yep, number 62. Colin Walcott, Cloud Dance. And I really like Colin Walcott's stuff. He did 3 albums with the band Cardona, which aren't in the top 100 records, or the first 100, but they're well worth checking out as well. Here he's with John Abercrombie again on guitar, Dave Holland on bass and Jack DeJohnette on drums, and Walcott is playing sitar and tabla. Number 63, the first record by Enrico Rava on ECM, Pilgrim and the Stars. And I've really come to like Enrico Rava's stuff. I've got 6 of his records now, and they're all fantastic. He plays trumpet. John Abercrombie is again here on guitar. Pelle Danielson and John Christensen, that great rhythm section on bass and drums. A really good record. Number 64 and 65, because it's a double record. Everybody knows this one. Keith Jarrett's Colne Concert. It was the first ECM record that I bought and really got me into the label. It's iconic and probably in the top 3 ECM records of all time. '66, Eberhard Weber, Yellow Fields. Here he is with Charlie Mariano on soprano sax, Rainer Bruninghouse keyboards and John Christensen drums. It's a great record. '67 and '68, double album from Terje Rypdal, Odyssey. Fantastic. '69, another Luminescent series reissue, Kenny Wheeler, New High. And here he is with Keith Jarrett on piano, Dave Holland bass and Jack DeJohnette on drums. Number 70, another Keith Jarrett record, Arbozina. And it's just a trio setting here. Keith on piano, Jan Garbarek on tenor and soprano saxophone, and Charlie Hayden on bass. '71 is Thomas Danko, Balladina. And here he's in a quartet with Tomasz Zulawski, who plays tenor and soprano sax. Stanko plays trumpet. Dave Holland is on bass and Edward Vasala on drums. Another very good one. '72, Gary Burton Quintet, Dream So Real. quintet here is Gary Burton on vibes, Mick Goodrick guitar, Pat Metheny guitar, Steve Swallow on bass, and Bob Moses on drums. And each photo adds one musician as it goes along. '73, another recent Luminescent series reissue, Pat Metheny's Bright Size Life. The famous trio of Pat Metheny, Jaco Pastorius on bass, and Bob Moses on drums. Beautiful music from start to finish. Fantastic. Okay, we are up to number 74. And I would have this in my top 5 as well. Jack DeJohnette's Directions Untitled. Really good record, fantastic music. Here he's with John Abercrombie on guitar, Alex Foster on tenor and soprano sax, Mike Richmond on bass, and Warren Bernhardt on piano, electric piano, clavinet and cowbell. Great photo of them on the back. Three-quarters of the way there. 75. Jan Garbarek and Bobo Stenson Quartet. And this is Dancer with Pally Danielson and John Christensen again. Another great early Garbarek record. Everything he did in the 70s was fantastic, and this is no exception. '76, Barry Phillips, Mountainscapes. Playing here with John Sermon, baritone and soprano saxophone, bass clarinet and synthesizer. Dieter Feitner on synth, and Stu Martin on drums and also synthesizer, and John Abercrombie guitar. Anything that John Abercrombie's on is well worth getting. Edward Vasala, this was a hard one to track down. Nan Madol, and here he's with a host of musicians. I'm not going to read out because there's a lot of them. It's just a great record. Fantastic by this Italian percussionist. '78, another Enrico Rava record, The Plot. Wonderful music on this one. Again with John Abercrombie on guitar, electric and acoustic guitar, Pally Danielson and John Christensen again. Kind of like the house rhythm section for ECM. Number 79, Jack DeJohnette, Pictures. And he's also here with John Abercrombie. Just the two of them in a duo setting. DeJohnette plays drums, piano and organ, with Abercrombie playing electric and acoustic guitars. Number 80, John Abercrombie again with Ralph Towner, Sargasso Sea. A duo with Towner on piano, piano, 12-string and classical guitars, and John Abercrombie electric and acoustic guitars. It's another great one. Number 81, Artland, Rubisa Patrol. This is another one that has, I think, 2 different covers. But here it's a quartet with Artland on piano, Mark Isham on trumpet, flugelhorn and soprano sax, Bill Douglas on bass, flute, and Glenn Cronkite on drums and percussion. Great record. Okay, we're into the last stack. Getting there. 82, Harold Anderson, Shimmery. This is a beautiful, calming, soothing record. But it has some great piano on from Lars Jansen. It's really stand out on this record is the piano playing. There's a picture of them there on the back. '83, it's another Terje Rypdal record, After the Rain. Fantastic. 84, Eberhard Weber, The Following Morning. And here it's just Eberhard Weber on bass, Rainer Bruninghaus on piano, and also has members of the Philharmonic Orchestra in Oslo. Recorded in August 1976. Another great Weber record. '85, The Survivor Suite by Keith Jarrett. And he's in a quartet here with Jury Redman on tenor saxophone and percussion, Charlie Hayden on bass, and Paul Mershon drums and percussion. Beautiful record. '86 and '87, Keith Jarrett on organ, Hymns and Spheres. Another beautiful Jarrett record. Number 88, Ebru Pasala, Satu. Again with a very large band, but this is fantastic music. The guitar playing of Terje Rypdal on this is a real highlight. Highly recommend this one. Number 89, Egberto Gismonti, Dança das Sabacas. He's a Brazilian guitar player and also piano, and here he's joined by fellow Brazilian Nana Vasconcelos on percussion. That's a great record, and 2 of them on the back. Numbers 90 and 91, another double album by Keith Jarrett, Staircase. There's many Keith Jarrett albums in this first 100. Number 92 is again Gary Burton Quartet with Eberhard Weber, Passengers. Gary Burton on vibraphone, Pat Metheny on guitar, Steve Swallow bass, Dan Gottlieb on drums, and Eberhard Weber on bass as well. It's a nice photo of him on the back. Number 93, another Jan Garbarek record with Ralph Towner, just the duo. It's called Dis, and Towner's playing 12-string and classical guitars, as always, and Garbarek tenor and soprano sax and flute. Wonderful record. Number 94, Steve Kuhn and Ecstasy, Motility. In a quartet here, Steve Kuhn on piano, Steve Slagle on soprano and alto, as well as flute, Harvey Schwartz on bass, and Michael Smith on drums. Fantastic Steve Kuhn record. Number 95, almost there. Ralph Towner, Solstice, Sound and Shadows. And in a quartet here with Jan Garbarek again, soprano and tenor and flute, Eberhard Weber bass and cello, and John Christensen on drums. Great photo of Towner on the back there. '96, Colin Walcott again. His second one in the top one, or the first 100. Grazing Dreams. And he's on sitar and tabla as usual, with John Abercrombie on guitar. Don Cherry is here on trumpet, wood flute, Pally Danielson bass, and Dom Romeo on drums and percussion. '97 is the second Pat Metheny album in the first 100. Watercolours, with Lyle Mays, Eberhard Weber and Dan Gottlieb. Three to go. Number 98, the second Julian Priester record. Julian Priester and Marine Intrusion, Polarization. And he's joined by Ron Stallings on tenor and soprano, Ray Obedo, electric and acoustic guitars, Curtis Clark on piano, Heshima Mark Williams on electric bass, and Augusta Lee Collins on drums. And my copy is actually a promo. '99, which is also a Luminescence series reissue, but originally recorded in March 1977, Azimuth, which composes John Taylor, Norma Winston and Kenny Wheeler in a trio. Great music here. That leaves number 100, last but not least, and it is this massive 10 LP box by Keith Jarrett. Sun Bear Concerts piano solo, recorded in Japan in 1976. My box has some discoloration down the side here, in a few spots, but if you take it out, it's perfect on the inside, and it's presented in a book style, with each page being a sleeve containing a record, and 10 altogether. It was recorded in 5 different cities in Japan, and each city has 2 discs of music allocated to it. There's some nice photos. There's a photo booklet in the front, if I can show that. Photos from the tour when Jarrett was in Japan. And The shows were performed at Kyoto, Osaka, Nagoya, Tokyo and Sapporo, all in November of 1976. And that completes the first 100 titles released on the ECM label. It took a while, but we got through it, and I hope you enjoyed watching. If you'd like to put any comments, will be appreciated, and also like and subscribe my channel. That also would be appreciated. And I've got a few other videos lined up that I'll be making in the next week or so. So look forward to seeing you again. Hope you enjoyed this look at the first 100 releases on the ECM Records label. And there'll be more ECM Records to come in another following video. Thank you for your time today, and see you in the next one.